Do you find yourself not wanting to tackle that honey-do list at home or the dreaded home and business repairs and improvements? Let Jones Empire LLC, which is a locally owned and operated business from Charleston to Huntington, West Virginia. Jones Empire LLC is licensed and insured, servicing commercial and residential properties throughout the state of West Virginia. Jones Empire LLC offers junk removal, property cleaning, interior and exterior cleaning, paver, patios, small remodels, tree pruning, tree trimming, tree cutting, tree removal, demolition, tree thinning, stump removal, landscaping, painting and staining, gutter cleaning, pressure washing, and even small remodels. Jones Empire LLC also offers dump trailer services for all your hauling needs. Jones Empire LLC offers free estimates. Schedule your service today. Call or text 304-541-8934. Again, call Jones Empire LLC 304-541-8934. They also offer 24/7 emergency services. Call them today.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice. Deer season's coming to a fast close here in West Virginia, and deer tracking dogs have been hot on the trail.
Yes, they have.
I hate to tell you,
Yep.
They've been working around the clock with these things, man. So welcome to another episode. Like I said, we got me back in the studio. Come on. Unfortunately, we ain't got Dave, though.
We don't have Dave.
It's always something with us, man.
We thought we all was going to be in this week.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been fighting it. You've been out of town. You got bronchitis.
I did.
He got the bronchitis.
I got the bronchitis. And it took me a while to fix it, too, because I went 2 weeks, and that second week of sickness, I start coughing up blood, and I'm like, boy, I better go do something about this.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to you on the phone there, and you started sounding a little bad. I was like, man, we need to get him to the doctor.
I know it.
You need to go, bro.
Hey, so another note tonight, we got some good stuff. I know Michael didn't like it, but that's just how he is.
I did. I tried it. Nothing against the Dewclaw Brewing Company, but it's just not for me.
He don't like the darks like that. But
the darks, the
we
stouts.
got this from the Breathe Wine and Culture Company, and it's some unicorn farts. Yeah, that's it. Some unicorn farts after dark. Look, this stuff has gold glitter in it now. I'm fancy. I'm drinking some gold.
Did you put it in a cup?
I did, but I don't think you can really see it.
Yeah, that's not.
Great.
We was looking
Need
for
a clear glass.
Yeah, we was looking for a clear glass, but that's okay.
But yeah,
you got to deal with what you got.
That's right.
So it's some kind of like a dark cinnamon stout. What is it? Like chocolate?
It's a chocolate cinnamon breakfast stout with gold glitter. You know what? I'll tell you what. It's potent. Got 8.5% alcohol.
Yeah, it's potent. I mean, I'm just not. It tastes like coffee to me.
Yeah,
I don't need a coffee right now.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
So I'm sticking to my Breckenridge Christmas Ale.
There you go.
That's really good. I love that.
It is
stuff.
good.
That's one of the better Christmas ales that I've had.
Yeah.
I like the seasonal beers.
Oh, absolutely.
Samuel Adams puts out some really good.
Oh, they do.
I don't like any of their regular stuff, but
I like a few of them.
Their seasonal stuff, like the Oktoberfest, the Winter Lagers, different stuff like that, and their summer beers, they're really good.
They are.
They are. All right, so those of you that have ordered our Nature's Voice hoodies, our new design this year, I've got one on this evening, if you can see it. I will come up there at the end of the show, and you can see it a little better, but we redone these things, and we have ran through so many tests to make sure these hoodies, make sure we're getting them to our liking. We went through probably, I don't know, we had a lot of people buy these hoodies.
Yeah.
They lasted for a good 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And then after that, they started to peel off.
Yep.
So we're like, we got to do something about that. We wanted to rectify that. We want to offer quality products.
That'll last.
Something that's going to last and not come off. So
yep.
This is a one-piece logo. It's all printed together. It's thin, so it's not thick. It's not going to peel. So we love them. Yep. And, they're all done now. So if you're one of the ones out there that's wondering about your Christmas orders or anything like that, we will have you taken care of before Christmas, thanks to Sarah. And I want to give her a shout-out tonight. I Do Designs and More is her business. And if you guys would like to use her services, give her a call at 304-549-5832. That's I Do Designs and More. So it's got our proud American flag in the background there flying in our logo. And if you're listening to the podcast tonight, you message us on the Facebook page, say you heard about us on the podcast, you'll get them for $38. Retail on the website, you're going to get them for $50 because we offer free shipping. We include that in there. So,
yep.
But we appreciate all your support this season, and we'll get on with our guest here.
Yeah.
We've got Sean Butler with Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. You know, he's been a previous guest on the show, and he's coming in tonight just to give us an update on the trackers over different 9 states. We've got trackers calling in from different parts of the country and West Virginia. So without further ado, please welcome with me Sean Butler, owner and operator of Longspur Tracking and Outfitting.
Hey, fellas, how are y'all doing this evening?
Doing real well, Sean. How are you?
Good. I'm happy to be back on the show with you guys.
Hey, I'm happy you got a little bit of a break from tracking.
Yeah.
I've been following you, man, hardcore. It's been a pleasure reading some of the posts you guys are putting out there.
Oh, yeah. Some of the stories that you guys do along with the tracks is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we started doing this 4 years ago, we'd put a short story up, and we noticed people were really sharing them, and so I really got into writing more stories, and that's just really taken off. And we get out there in the field, and recover a deer, and a hunter will say, "Now you're going to put my story on Facebook, aren't you?" So they love it.
We got your other caller calling in, Sean. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Oh, this is Jeremy with Longspur.
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing? This is Dan and Mike, and we got Sean on with us too. We're kind of running a little behind. That's typical for us.
We got to talking about all kinds of stuff, Jeremy. Sorry about that. We're so we're going to bring. I think Sean's in here with you. Have we merged it over yet?
Yep. I merged them over.
Yep.
All right, Sean, go ahead and finish what you were saying there, and then we'll get in with Jeremy.
Well, we had a pretty busy year, pretty exciting year. So far up to this point in time, we've taken about 3,000 calls in over this 10 state area. So
you added a state. It was 9.
Yeah, we got Delaware
now. Oh, nice.
All right.
Yeah. And we're up to 274 recoveries as a company right now, and add more every day. And the gentleman and dog with the most recent recovery is Jeremy Zickafoos, who we got on the line right now.
Oh, right. Good. Well, let's go ahead and hear from
him.
Yeah, let's go ahead and hear from Jeremy.
Well, where are you calling from today there, Jeremy?
I'm in Fairmont, West Virginia.
Okay.
Nice.
Right. Nice.
Anywhere in the state of West Virginia, part of Ohio, and parts of PA.
Okay, so you do quite a bit of traveling then.
Anywhere they need me to go.
Now, I believe you we know you from a trade show, correct?
Name sounds familiar.
I don't believe.
Don't believe so? I thought that you may have purchased some True Timber hoodies from us at one of the shows.
No, that must have been one of our other guys.
Oh, okay. I remembered your name.
That Zickafoos sounds really familiar.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
It sticks. I believe you guys just shared one of my posts the other day.
Okay. Yeah.
On a recovery I had down in Logan County there the day before yesterday.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
that may have been what it was, but I could have swore that I shipped something out to an Zickafoos.
Well, I can tell you, and Sean can attest to this. There's a bunch of us. I've got
well, that
might be it then.
That's probably where. I mean, I that name just really stuck out to me. So, because I do all the shipping and stuff for her, so I was like, yeah,
it's a hard one to forget.
Yeah, it is. That's for sure. So
I think that was the Morgantown show too.
Yeah, it was the Morgantown show. So it was.
I remember
close,
that name.
It's close to your area
because I wrote all the addresses down at Morgantown.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably cousin.
I got you.
I'll have to look here in a minute. We'll have to do a little confirmation on that.
So, how many? We'll get into it there real quick. How's your tracking season been? How many
Good.
How many calls you had? How many good recoveries and whatnot?
I've been out on 36 tracks this year. I've recovered 19 deer. I've had 11 of them accounted for back on camera or killed later in the season by the hunter or by a neighbor. So that's a pretty good average for me. I'm a little over 50% right now. So
yeah. How long have you been? How long you've been into this dog tracking?
This is our third season.
Okay, cool. You got one dog or multiples?
Just one, Ruby Rose of Longspur. She's Redbone Coonhound.
Redbone. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So I told you, I remembered that name. We had 2 orders from the Summersville show.
Oh, was it Summersville?
Yep. And it was a Kristen and an L.A.
Kristen. L.A. Yeah, he's a cousin.
Okay.
That's awesome, man. That's pretty good.
Me and L.A. just met on Facebook probably a year or 2 ago.
Oh, no kidding.
Out her family.
Oh, you're kidding. That's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, there's a bunch of us.
That's pretty cool.
Had 13 kids.
Wow.
I mean,
that's like the old time families there.
yeah, my grandpa was one of 9, and one of his sisters had 13, and I think another had 12. So
yeah,
that's a big family.
Yeah, my mom, she was one of 9. I mean, they had a big family too, and they lived in a 3-bedroom home.
Yeah, there's a bunch of us out there.
Yeah,
but I know I'm the only one with a tracking dog.
That's awesome. Yeah, we followed you.
You get a lot of those cousin calls, don't you, Jeremy?
Yes, I do. Yes,
that's the good thing about having a big family.
Yeah.
They love to hunt, and they're not afraid to call and say, come help me.
Yep, that's how it goes.
So,
man,
I've recovered a few for a family this year. So
how does
nice family? You don't have to go far.
How many of these are coming from the app?
I probably ran 3 or 4 tracks this year from the app. Most of them are from calls that come in from Longspur, come in directly and just go out on the line.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, we
ran 3 or 4 off the Blood Trails app this year.
Nice. Now, how do you feel about it? You think that's going to explode as the years go on?
Yeah, I think as it is on and word gets out about it, it's going to be more that geared towards that than it is actually phone calls coming in.
Good.
People once they realize the how nice of a tool it is and be able to look at that deer and turn it whatever direction they need and put their impact on there. You can learn a lot from the app.
Oh yeah.
By using the app without even talking to a tracker.
Sure. I've played with it a bunch already just to see. It's interesting.
And it's going to be, and it's even going to be bigger and better next year.
Oh, sweet.
We're going through a growth phase here and are getting ready to launch a bunch of improvements on the app, and kind of excited for that. That'll be after the first of the year, and it'll all be ready for next year's tracking season. But it's the app's been a good tool, and we hope it takes off because it sure takes a lot of interviews off of our shoulders. We talk to a lot of hunters one-on-one, and that app can do that interview and help us out a little bit.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes, sir.
It
comes in very handy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty sweet-looking thing. I've taken a look at it. I mean, how you guys can put the different information in there in the notes and things like that and pins and stuff like that.
Even with being a tracker too, I'll use that to, once I do an interview with a hunter and get his shot description, I'll go on the app and put that shot description in the app and see what it is I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And then actually do a screen record and send that to the hunter. Confirm we're in the right spot and kind of on the same page. So it's helpful in a lot of ways.
That's awesome. Good deal. Yeah, it's going to be helpful for sure.
Yeah.
So how does y'all service work in different ranges like that? Is most of your information being gotten before you go out, or do you communicate with the, like Sean in between those different tracks? Is that done through the app or?
Well, what happens is we have of course the app comes in, but we also do it the old-fashioned way. We're taking 2,000 or 3,000 phone calls in here and we have a Facebook Messenger chain that everybody is.
Okay.
All the Longspur trackers are on.
Good.
And if I think something's in an area that's beneficial, or like if it's in Marion County, and I know Jeremy's staying close to home that day, we'll tag him and get him going to it. Or like today, he was down in Logan County. He's kind of been hanging down there this week, it seems like. So, when we get busy at our peak, we'll try to get people set up on a route.
Okay.
So,
cool.
if I could get him a couple Logan County tracks and a couple Mingo County tracks, that'll give him a full day's work down that way.
Yeah.
So,
well, Jeremy, we appreciate you coming on with us, man. We've got our next caller coming in here in about 1 minute, so we appreciate you, and we'd like to have you back on for another episode where you can tell some more about your tracks and stuff that you've done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, anytime, guys. I'm actually going to hop on the phone here with an interview as soon as we get off this phone. Sean, I'll be putting one on the line here in just a minute.
Okay,
nice.
Sounds good.
All right, good deal. All right, we've got the next caller coming in right now, Chad McCoy. Mr. McCoy, how you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. We've got Sean on the line here.
Hey, Chad, how are you this evening?
Fine, Sean. How are you?
Good.
All right, Chad, so where you calling in from this evening?
I'm in Ronceverte, West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
I got you. Nice.
Yeah, Chad's down in our, southeastern counties there, and he's really taken the bull by the horns this year and really racked him up. He's had a great season. Really proud of him and Gunner, his dog.
Gunner's your dog there. So how's tell us a little bit about your season there with Gunner, Chad.
Oh, we've done good. We've got 30 recoveries. Went on 52 tracks. Out of the difference there, I've had 15 show back up on camera that I've told the hunters would still be alive, and just got a couple unaccounted for. I'm going to work on trying to get those taken care of in the next week or so, make some phone calls and
Nice.
see if everybody's checked trail cameras and stuff.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about with Jeremy. We've been reading his stories, and we've seen some that have came back on trail cameras on several of your guys, and that's been an assistance in helping you all out with some of these. How often does that happen?
Quite often. I mean, especially if we follow up with them. But I always try to let the hunter know if I believe it's alive and we quit a track to follow up with me to, if you find it back on camera, to let me know. I like keeping track of all of them.
Yeah.
Now, how's that go with when you tell a hunter that, hey, I'm pretty sure this deer's still alive? How do most of them take it in your opinion?
Some will still argue with you. They'll say there's no way that much blood that deer's not dead, but you just gotta learn how to read your dog and how they track, and you realize pretty quick whether you got a live deer or a dead deer.
Yeah.
Yes,
that makes sense.
Some people.
I tell these guys, Mike, just be honest with the hunter. I mean, if you think the deer on its feet is on its feet, just tell them. And usually the guys that you track for and you locate, recover a deer, they become pretty good friends. But sometimes these guys that you track for and their deer shows back up, and just because you were honest with them and just talk plain and talk the truth with them, they become really good friends.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that really spread your name around. And it's like,
yeah, I kind of wonder sometimes the stories that you guys get. So,
we lost Sean there.
Sean, you back there with us? We lost you. Yeah,
I can just barely hear y'all.
Sean, you there? Yeah, I think we lost Sean there for a minute.
I think we did. Well, anyway, so how long you been into this tracking business there, Chad?
This makes 3 years that I've tracked with Longspur.
3 years. Huh?
Oh wow! That's
now,
did
you get into it because of Longspur, or has this been something?
Yeah, I got to just following their page on Facebook, and I'd always had hounds or some kind of outdoor dog to mess with, and it looked interesting. And I got to talking to Sean, and he helped me locate a pup, and then I sent it to Longspur and had them get him started.
Awesome, nice.
I'm back, guys.
There you are. I think he just
he's back, and I just cut him off because I didn't hear him talking, and I'm like, well, maybe he thinks that he's here, so I ended the call.
There he is. He's calling back now.
That's
Oh,
funny.
Lord.
You gotta love it.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean.
I think I'm here.
So yeah, you was here.
As soon as you said
And
it, Michael hung up.
As soon as you said it, I was pressing the what we call the FU button there because it showed that you was in the room, but we couldn't hear you. So I was thinking maybe he thinks that he's still in here and it's not letting him call back because he's still on the phone. So I ended it right when you said that. I was like, well, there he goes. Hey, that's technology for
live, you. That's live entertainment.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's live
and
for
unscripted here, baby.
All right, Chad, go back into what you was talking about there. So you've been with Longspur for 3 years?
Yes, sir.
And you just got basically in contact with them through their Facebook page, and that's how you got into doing it.
Yeah, when they first started, I got to follow them on Facebook, and just it looked real interesting, and I was looking for something to do. So I contacted Sean about finding the pup, and then set up, and like I say, Sean got him started and everything, and just been tagging along ever since then.
Now, have you been in the dog game, like bear hunting or?
Oh yeah, I've always had
hunting.
coon hounds, rabbit beagles, bear hounds.
Yeah, that's
some type of outdoor dog.
That's awesome.
Seems like most of you guys that get into this tracking have been bear hunters or coon hunters
or something like
that.
Rabbit hunters. That's it.
Yeah. It's very, very few of the trackers are just guys that get or gals that just get one dog and hey, jump right into it. I mean, you got to be a dog person.
Sure.
You got to be able to read a dog and have just know what you're doing with them.
Yeah.
And that comes with a few years of experience. And that's what we look for. Somebody says, hey, I'm a dog guy. I've run bear dogs or I've run coon dogs. My ears go out.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to talk.
Yeah.
And then if they tell me they have 20 years of deer hunting experience, I'm really listening.
Sure.
Because it takes, you can have the best dog in the world. You can go out and buy the best pup, but if you're not an outdoorsman and you're not a dog person, you're going to find some deer, but you're not going to find them at a high rate and account for deer at a high rate.
Yeah.
And that's what we got with Chad and Jeremy and then Benjamin coming up when we talked to him, some outdoorsmen.
Sure.
So
that's awesome.
Proud of these guys.
Now, Chad, you want to tell us one of your better hunting stories or tracking stories for this year?
This year I found one in down in McDowell. I do a lot of the southern counties. We tracked it close to 1,100 yards. Had the hunter tying survey ribbon behind me as he found blood. I was just following a dog, and
Oh wow!
the 1,100 yards we found 7 drops of blood. Had deer backtrack itself 100 yards and crossed down. Ended up crossing the Hatfield McCoy Trail, pulling the other mountain, and laying down on a bench up there and passing away in its last day.
Wow. Yeah, I think people don't realize how relentless these deer can be sometimes.
Yep.
We've actually killed deer that have ran down to creeks and crossed the creek and gotten to the other side and laid down and bedded and kicked leaves into a wound or into an area and just laid there and tried to let it clot up. That's one of the things, like my son killed his buck this year, and I'm like, son, we need to wait at least 15 minutes. I'd like to wait at least 30. But, my son's 17 years old, and he's ready to go after the biggest buck he's killed in his life. So I'm worried that when we go after this thing, he's going to jump up and run. He's going to get that adrenaline, and he's, that fight or flight. He's wanting to live. But luckily.
That's a good point, Mike. What do you guys recommend as a waiting point?
Well,
go ahead, Sean.
I always err to more is better.
Sure.
I mean, unless you see him fall down, wait at least an hour.
Or Sean's like, wait 5 minutes so we can come track it.
Yeah.
We like the ones that, somebody makes a shot and it goes out of sight and they're like, I don't know if I made a good shot. And they just contact us from the blind or the tree stand, and then they agree to go home and we'll see them the next morning.
Yep.
Get a few 12-hour wait in or 18-hour wait. And usually those are the easy ones to recover. The guys that like to go out and chase them, they make life hard on us.
No doubt.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, because I think you have pride that gets in there sometimes when you're talking with, it's like being at deer camp and you come back and you're like, did you see anything? Yeah, we saw tons of deer. I shot one. I made a good shot on it. Couldn't find it. It's the biggest deer I've ever seen.
Yep.
Well, we deal a little bit with the culture here. Everybody here's a mountaineer.
Yeah.
And, they want to do things. They want to do things on their own, and it's taken some education. The first year we were into this, we were doing a lot of 48 to 72 hour old tracks because guys would just beat a track to death before they call us.
I guarantee.
And now we're getting a lot of calls right from the tree stand, right from the blind, and it does make life easier and it makes recoveries easier for the hunter.
Oh, for sure.
So,
well, Chad, we appreciate you coming in, buddy. We've got another call coming in here in just a little bit, and we'd like to have you on for another episode and let you tell some more of your long stories and some of them really good ones.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yep. Congratulations on your 30 tracks there, brother.
Thank you.
All right. We got Benjamin coming in right now. We couldn't time that in perfectly.
No, we couldn't.
Benjamin, how you doing, sir?
Hey, good. How y'all doing?
Oh, we're doing
well.
good. We've got Sean on the line, and I've got Dan, my co-host, here with me. You're live on the limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks
So-
for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time this evening. So where you calling in from?
Chrisfield, Maryland.
Nice.
Maryland. All right.
I'm on the other side of the world. I'm right here, pocket of the peninsula of Delmarva. We butt up to Virginia, Delaware, Maryland.
Okay.
Okay.
Good deal. I can definitely tell the accent in there.
Yeah, there's definitely one there.
Yep, that's for sure. Well, we're glad to have you this evening. So tell us a little bit about your tracking season and how it's been, your dog's name, different things like that.
We've had a good season so far. We I think my dogs have between both of them, I think we're at 11 now. I have two of them. One's a 3-year-old, one's a 1.5-year-old. I've been working them both. One's a little bit better on the blood because we train them to work the sitka deer here on the shore. Which don't have the interdigital scent, so they're a little bit different.
Oh, really?
Man, that's cool.
Yeah, they're a little bit different to track, and they track in the marsh, and so we've been training him to track different than what we used for the whitetails here on the shore.
Now, how does that intertwine, like jumping back and forth between like a whitetail or a sitka deer?
Oh, it can be frustrating. That's why I got a second dog. I got a second dog. The way that dog has to work it is different because the blood trails overnight. They move. With tides when the water. And most of the time, the sitka deer bleed into the water, and the water moves overnight in a 6-hour period. It shifts when the tide changes, and it's a lot different. You need a dog that can wind scent.
I got you.
Yeah,
that's definitely different. That's interesting.
Very.
It sure is.
Very, and the terrain walking through these marshes, you have to have a dog that can really do it. A lab or a German Shepherd or German pointer, short-haired pointer. One of them dogs are really good.
That's what I was just getting ready to ask. What kind of dogs you're running?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one that's a Walker, German short-haired pointer mix, and then I got an American coonhound that's long-legged and no quit in him.
I bet you he's good in that marsh area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. We had one with him. We jumped one. You said crossing the creek. Our craziest story. We had one drowned in the river this year. Crossing, we jumped him single long, like 25 hours, and he was crossing the river and drowned on us. And we still have not ever had that deer pop up. We
really
needed to probably get it. Yeah, we told them they need to probably get a diver.
Hey,
call in the dive team.
I might be available for something like that.
Yeah.
I wonder what a diver deer recovery.
Hey, Sean, add Dan on your staff there. He can dive for you there.
I'll be your deep water recovery agent there.
I mean, if it's a trophy buck and
it'd be worth it.
It'd be worth going in after. I mean,
yeah.
People.
We deal with the water a lot down here, and it's a lot. We get caught up with them swimming across the rivers or the cuts and the guts it can be a pain times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it can.
Well, that'd be one story to tell right there when you couldn't find one. I mean, that's for sure.
Our faces were pretty priceless.
Yeah.
It was definitely a different track for us this year.
I guarantee it.
Now, did you see it go in and under?
Oh yeah,
oh man,
it was a Amish family that hired us, and we it was me and his son. He couldn't make it, the father that shot it, and it was minimal penetration. He had 8 inches of that penetration on his arrow, and we really didn't. We figured that the deer was not dead yet, but he wanted to know as one of the bigger bucks on their property, and
right.
They've had their caretaker on their property monitoring the shores, trying to find it, and it's been it has not popped up yet.
So was that a compound bow shot or was that a long bow?
Yes, yep, it was a compound bow. He tried to hunt this deer 3 times from his normal set, and couldn't get on. It was about 150, 160 inch buck, and
wow,
he got on a climber and jacked up real high so he could get on it and try to get and put a very straight down shot into the front quarter, and got on about 8.5, 9 inches. We found the arrow as tracking and found its bed, and then eventually jumped it, and it ran about 30 more yards off this little peninsula island into the water. Took about 40 yards into the water and drowned.
So I'd like to know what kind of broadhead that guy was using, because it's either the broadhead didn't have enough penetration through the bone in that area, or it was the angle that he was shooting at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These deer are tough. I tell you, they'll take a broadhead or a bow shot, and it'll just surprise you. A lot of guys try to hit them right in the shoulder like they would with a rifle, and it just doesn't work out.
Well, who was we talking to during the rifle season, Dan, that had shot one and that had already been shot? They ended up killing it, but they had seen that it had already been shot before he got it.
Who was that?
We were talking to somebody that killed one that we know.
Yeah, and that happens a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've cut up deer and processed them, and where I've pulled out broadheads after gutted it, threw it on the table and started cutting it up. Got to the front shoulder or something, right there's a broadhead sticking in his shoulder.
Yep, that has happened to my brother over the years.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Now Benjamin, he just came on with us this year.
Okay,
here at Longspur, and we've actually added a couple trackers over in Eastern Maryland. We got another gentleman, Mike Effords, over near towards Baltimore, and then Benjamin's over on the Eastern Shore. We're kind of staking a flag in Maryland, and hopefully we're adding more trackers over there.
Nice,
man, that's awesome.
Now, it's actually got a pretty good hunting culture for. My dad lives over there, but I say, as California as they are, they have pretty good hunting culture.
Kind of knew where you was going with that.
Yeah.
But it's and the Eastern Shore is a neat place if you've never been there.
I don't think
Benjamin gets to live that life over there. I've always enjoyed going over there and going sick of deer hunting and running around in those marshes. It's a different type of wilderness, and it is a wilderness.
Sure.
And it is interesting.
Now, how'd you get into the tracking of this, Benjamin? Did you obviously coon hunt and all that stuff as well?
I was loved hunting, and my grandfather had the rabbit dogs, and it was a whole different experience. But no, actually, I shot a buck and lost it, and had a guy come out with his dogs and years back, and his dog, he did not recover my deer. I learned so much about how important your shots are, when you take them, how you take them.
Sure.
And I loved watching the dog work. And I said, I need to have me a dog. And I got one as a hobby dog, and he started doing well and found some deer and proved himself. And,
nice.
I took to Sean's, how outgoing he is and his outreach into the public of, getting people aware that there's some hounds out here that'll help find your deer. And joined with Sean, and he's been great since. Longspur's helped get my name out there. We've helped cover a lot of deer this year.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you want to go ahead and hit the salute?
Yeah, we definitely need to jump into a
Benjamin,
salute.
you can hang in here with us, and we'll continue to talk. But one of the things that we like to do during our podcast is salute our veterans, whether they're still here with us or they have passed. So we did not have a salute this evening. We usually get them from the Cherry Bend Pheasant Farm, and they was unable to get one this evening, but they are populating that as we speak. So
Right. So I went in search of one, and me, being partial to 10th Mountain Division where I served,
yeah,
I've thought it would be fitting to speak of the very first Medal of Honor recipient from the 10th Mountain Division, which was John David McGrath.
oh, nice.
Yes,
nice.
yep. He's actually, anybody that's ever been stationed at Fort Drum knows that name because the sports complex at 10th Mountain Division is named after him.
Awesome.
So he was born in July of 1924. Let me reiterate.
1924.
We're in that whole 2000 era now.
Yeah,
It's
the
24s
20s.
next year.
I know, gosh.
Yeah, and he actually died April of 1945 in World War II, where he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions and sacrifice of life during that time in Italy.
Wow.
He, like I said, he served for the 10th Mountain Division. He was a private first class. He was in from 1943 to 1945, and he was awarded the Medal of Honor, Bronze Star, and a Purple Heart while he served in World War II.
Man.
So, we not always do we get a salute from this era of individuals. Vietnam era. And it's okay. We can. There's so many.
There's so many out there.
There's so many out there that you have readily access. You can just look up somebody and be like, hey, they did awesome things for this country.
Oh, yeah.
They fought. I don't know exactly what he did in Italy. It doesn't really specify.
Yeah.
But to be awarded the Medal of Honor, obviously he went way above.
Oh, yeah.
And way beyond his actual duties.
Definitely.
And probably saved his whole battalion or something of that effect. So.
Yep.
And I do know more stories on him from being stationed at Fort Drum. You got to learn stuff like that, But he was the very first recipient from Fort Drum or from the 10th Mountain Division.
Awesome.
So that's that. We appreciate his service and every veteran's out there service.
Yeah, thank you for your service, sir. God bless you. He's one of the ones that gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Yep.
So. We couldn't, as we say all the time, we couldn't sit here and do what we're doing now if it wasn't for our, arms out there.
Yeah, we'd be speaking German or something.
All right, so back to tracking. You there, Sean?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Blood Trails app.
Yeah. Okay. So our Blood Trails app was pretty bare bones this year. I mean, as a hunter, you just signed up, and all you could do on it is if you needed a tracker, you could fill out an interview, do a 3D shot chart, and send it, and it would push notify all the trackers in an area, and they could take a look at, those trackers could take a look at it and decide if it was a track they wanted to take or not. We help quite a few hunters. I don't have the exact numbers yet on how many come through the app. I know we have over 1,000 members in West Virginia,
Wow.
Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland area pretty heavily. We have all over the country. But, we really concentrated in this area this year on our launch. And I think we did pretty good proving the concept enough that we garnered a new business partner in this, and that's really going to take this thing to new heights. So next year, the hunting section's going to have more features, like you'll have weather.
Okay.
You'll, of course, have our 3D shot chart.
Now, does that play a significant factor in the tracking of? Obviously, I know rain does, but like you said before, your dogs are more trained on the scent of that specific deer.
Well, like Benjamin was saying, the tides.
Yeah.
Over on the coast, you'd have the tides that you got to worry about. And when I say worry, usually the hunters worry, and we just show up and track.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
one of our favorite sayings here is, a Longspur tracker doesn't get rained out. We just get rained on.
Right. Yeah.
So
There you go.
because we go no matter what. The dogs do pretty good as long as it's not one of those just absolutely 3 or 4 inches of rain in a short amount of time. If it's just a regular old fall rain where you might get 3/4 of an inch or an inch overnight, the dogs do pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm always leery when I hear a tracker say, "Well, boy, it's going to rain. I don't know if my dog can do that." Actually, I think we talked about that last time. A little rain actually helps things.
Yeah,
So,
it kind of dampens the scents down. Like I think I do remember talking about that.
I do. Yeah.
Yes.
It holds the scents closer to the ground.
Right. Now, as this app evolves, it's going to have a lot more outdoor features on it. We're hoping, and one of those is going to be a page full of links of podcasts, so that hunters can sit right there in their tree stand and link right into their favorite podcast.
Oh man, that'd
right
be
through
awesome.
our app.
That'd be nice.
You got to provide a little entertainment anymore.
Yeah, you
apps.
do.
It seems like hunters are on their phones in their tree.
Yeah, I know a good podcast we could probably get on there.
Hey, I'm sure we'll be in touch. And the ideas just keep coming and growing with this. We have several companies that are looking at this app, and they're wanting involved. They want to be able to reach hunters and trackers, and maybe offer discounts on their products.
Sure.
So if you're a member of the app, you'll be getting these discounts.
Yeah, good deal.
So it just keeps growing. Newer ideas coming out.
Definitely
I think it's going to be amazing.
Keep that in mind when you get those things and start rolling those out, because we can mention those on our podcast.
Sure.
Say, hey, you guys, if you've listened to this podcast this evening, we do it for outdoor products or outdoor Pro Shop LLC. Yeah. They have a code right now, podcast 10. If you go and visit their website and use podcast 10, you can get 10% off your total order from their site.
Yep.
So we could do a thing like that with you guys. You guys, if Blood Trails 23 or whatever, if you've listened to us on the podcast and you've heard us talk about it or whatever, and we mention that, go there and you can get so much off on the app or whatever.
Yeah. So there is a lot of growth potential in this.
Absolutely.
It's changing the culture of tracking from, hunters have to search for a tracker now. And instead of that, if we can get these hunters using these apps and doing their interviews, doing their shot charts, and push notifying these trackers, the trackers are going to be contacting them instead of the hunter spending his day. And believe me, sometimes it takes a day to find a tracker that can get out to you the next day. So you're looking at 24 to 48 hours usually before you have a tracker on the ground. So, we get there as soon as we can. Sometimes wait times, though, are good. It just, with so many predators and stuff, now people just cringe when you say, "Oh, we got to wait overnight." I tell you, we are excited about this app. It's going to grow and keep getting bigger.
Yeah, definitely. And talking about how you're trying to iterate or combine, I wonder what the likelihood of something like getting involved with like Onyx or something like that, where you can intermesh between that and have their actual track marks, what they've done and where they stopped. And you guys took off.
You're on to something there, because we're talking. I mean, we have contacts with other mapping apps.
Sure.
But one of our biggest sponsors, and we're trying to twist their arm and get them to work even more with us, is Garmin.
Oh, nice.
And
okay.
Yeah,
they have a pretty good mapping system too.
Yes, they do.
If we could get them involved and get them on, we'd love to have our mapping section of our app powered by Garmin. And we always try to slip them in there. They've been a great partner in Longspur. They've been growing, came aboard with us we're still a small company, but when we were basically nothing, just a couple people with a dog, and Garmin come on board and has been supporting us ever since. And we've had a couple, 2 or 3 other companies like that just see the vision, and when they sit down and start looking at the growth that's going on, they see where we're heading and some of the ideas we have. And it's just amazing. It's amazing how a little old company in Buchanan, West Virginia's been growing, and I think it's because of the way we just deal with people honestly, and we try to educate. Honesty and education, 2 things, and any tracker that wants to join up with us I'm always got an open door policy. As long as they have a quality dog and they're honest people, we bring them on. And that's like Benjamin over there in Maryland. It's just been a pleasant find to be able to work with him and a couple of the other guys we brought on over in that area. And we're just positive. We try to keep everything positive and help hunters out. And we don't look at too many people as competition. Most other trackers we consider friends and hand referrals even to people outside of our system.
Yeah, I think Benjamin ducked out. He was like, "Man, they talk too much."
Yeah.
So we'll have to call him back and let him know we appreciate his time this evening. So
sure,
yeah,
sure.
I'm pretty sure we hit on it last time we talked with you, but you want to talk a little bit more about the paid and free version of that app? What benefits garner?
Right. Yeah, I think the last time we talked, we really didn't have a direction of how we were going to take it, paid versus free. I mean, we kept it free this fall for everyone. I mean, once a hunter committed to a track, of course, they had to pay a fee for using the app, but no one had to pay to download the app this year.
Right.
And I mean, we're looking at maybe taking it like a membership route.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, as a tracker, if you join, and once again, we're talking to like companies like Garmin and stuff, and other companies that would be helping out trackers. If you join, you get pretty good sized discounts from these companies. Plus, you'd have access to some of our other app features, such as say you're a tracker in Ohio and you just do this on your own, but you want to keep really good notes and analytics and data.
Yeah,
we're gonna have that in our app this coming year, where you'll be able to store all your notes in our app,
almost like a journal section. Yeah,
that'll be neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Just at the end of the year, you can print out a report that tells how many tracks you took, how many deer showed back up, how many deer you found, how many different, maybe how many different species you tracked, depending on what state you're in, how many crossbow versus rifle tracks you went on. And I mean, all the way down to what kind of broadheads, and all this stuff will be, stored in our app. And the tracker at the end of the year can just hit a button and print all his analytics out and be able to share that on his little Facebook page or website, how he did. And, but that same data will be something that we'll have access to. And so we can have a data pool from all over the country and be able to say, over time with our 3D shot charts, just absolutely build an awesome intelligence agency, basically, of tracking where, a hunter eventually could put in, hey, I hit my deer here on the 3D shot chart, and it's going to start giving him wait times, percentage of recovery over time, and basically just kind of talk him into what he needs to do right there until a tracker can talk to him.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I mean it takes time to develop that.
It sure does.
Point, with the analytics.
Yeah, it's there's apps out there, and it's taken years and years and years to develop some.
Well, just like talking to trout routes.
Yeah,
how long it's took them boys to get where they're at.
They have. Oh my gosh, you talk about 350,000 streams that they have mapped.
Yeah,
on their map, on their app alone. And
Yeah.
you know, we're proud to be, you know, partners with you, Sean, at Longspur Tracking and Outfitting.
Absolutely.
I think it's an awesome thing, and we want to support that as much as we can.
I kind of wanted to make a bad shot this year, just
to call him up. So
Well-
one more thing we want to talk about before we go that we didn't get into last time is pricing. What does hunters pay for this? Is there certain packages that they offer? Is one track more than another, or how do you all differ that?
Well, that's a great question. We have 4 levels of trackers in Longspur. We have apprentices, and these are guys and gals with great dogs. They're just not, don't have the experience, but they're getting there.
Yeah.
They've done all their testing, they've done all their certifications, and we put them out there. And what they do is they only charge gas mileage and tips.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so
But your guarantee rate's not there,
right?
Yeah.
I can send you somebody. I have full faith in them. I'm not going to put anybody out there I don't have full faith in.
Yeah.
But they have to get out there and get knocked around and start reading their dog and figure it out. And when they do that, and they get about 10 or 15 recoveries under their belt, and I see they're seeing some situations out there. We bump them up to our tracker level, and our tracker level, we have a mileage rate chart that we like for them to kind of stick with. And I think the lower level on that chart's about $150 for a track.
Man.
Okay. So, and then it'll go up from there depending on mileage.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. And then, and Benjamin over there in Maryland, he's a tracker for us. And he's going to be moving up soon and helping us ramrod Maryland. But our next level is head tracker. And you talked to 2 of those guys tonight, Jeremy and Chad McCoy, Jeremy Zickafus, Chad McCoy. And our head trackers are guys that probably have about 30 recoveries in. They've shown some really good leadership with other trackers, helping to educate. They can do interviews and pretty much hand tracks to me and tell me, hey, boss, this is a viable track. This is how it's probably going to go. And I can go run it on their recommendation and don't even have to talk to the hunter. I just need to show up. Okay. So
that's good.
Jeremy and Chad, they're there, and they get out in the track, and I let those guys quote. Okay. So, if they're heat of the rut, it's probably going to be a couple $100 to get them out.
Yep.
Within 100 miles of them. If they start traveling, they're going to charge a little more.
Sure.
And then you have our other level where there's only 4 of us at this level right now, and that's our master tracker level in Longspur. And you're talking guys with a few years of experience, at least 50 recoveries with one dog.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so when you get a guy that has 50 recoveries with one dog and above, he probably knows that dog really well, knows tracking really well. And what we look for there is somebody that can basically, I tell everybody, the master trackers, if I wanted to take a month's vacation, I could put one of those guys in charge and everything runs smooth.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Obviously, you're one of them master
I think we're going to
trackers.
add a few more of those. And those master trackers quote. I mean, we have people that say, well, I want the best. And okay, if
Right.
you want the best, here's the price.
Sure.
And it can get interesting, especially if you're in like over in Ohio, you'll get people that just they get ridiculous over those deer over there.
Oh,
I mean, some of them are worth
sure.
getting ridiculous over. Don't get me wrong, there's some big bucks over there, but you get guys that are plunking down $500-$600 just for you to show up. So,
wow. So
yeah, I mean,
I got 2 questions for you before we get you out of here.
yes, sir.
So obviously you're in that master tracker category. How many have you successfully recovered through your career of it?
Oh, well, I'll just look at it current head tracking dog, Jessie, she just snagged her 100th recovery in 3 years.
In 3 years?
Good night.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
I mean, she's an amazing little dog. She's done some stuff that just makes me shake my head as a dog guy. It's like, how in the world?
Yeah.
You know, we've gone out there after some torrential downpours when I'm just doubting, you know, myself, and she'll just put her nose down and we'll go 400 or 500 yards on a straight line to a deer. And it's like, jeez.
And this is a dog. This is a dog you've had for a good while, I'd say.
Well, she's 4 years old. She's turned 4 years old.
So she's got some life left in her for this.
Yeah, well, she's a Yog Terrier, and they just don't live a long time. They're so prey driven. They get beat up. They don't back off nothing. I mean, we had her daughter, Massey, 18-pound dog this year, decided that over in Ohio she was going to try to take out a 200-plus pound 9-point by herself, and got cut up pretty good. Yeah, these dogs just don't back off nothing. Wow. But yeah, I hope we can get 2 or 3 more tracking years out of her.
Okay.
We're constantly training. We have her daughter Massey from a litter from last year. She's 18 months old, and she's up near 30 recoveries already.
Wow.
She's doing good, and Jessie just had a litter this year. She didn't even track the first part of this season. She was raising pups, and I'm keeping a big old male pup out of this litter. I'm hoping he'll grow some size and get up about 30 pounds. And a 30-pound Yog Terrier is like having I don't know, 100-pound dog of another breed. They just don't have no back down, and man, they are ferocious.
Actually, I lied. That brought me to a second question.
Oh my gosh.
a third question, I guess.
Sure.
So I follow this other dog tracker out of South Carolina. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I know his dog. His dog is Spud.
Okay.
I don't know. Have you ever heard of this guy? Met this guy or anything?
I haven't. I that doesn't sound familiar.
Okay. I know he kind of does what you guys do, and he posts all his stories, and it's just it's such a pleasure to read some of these stories you guys post, which wraps me into the last part of what I was wanting to talk about. You got to tell us about that one track where it was not that guy's deer.
Oh, are you talking about the Cooper's Rock track?
Yeah, I believe so.
See, now we should have kept Jeremy on the line because that was his track.
Oh, that was his track. Okay.
Yeah, but
well, we might have to just hold off on that and get Jeremy back on the line one of these.
Yeah, we might have to do that.
Yeah.
That's a good story. I mean, yeah, we can do that. That was Jeremy's track, but he was really doubting himself and his dog, and he had Chrissy and I come up and run our dogs. And
okay, and that's why I thought it was your track, because I remember hearing you talking about your dogs.
Yeah, we went up there, and I got highly involved in that track and that ordeal. But that's a good story.
Yeah, I followed it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it was really good. And I think
this is amazing.
Like you're saying, I think
all
we
I
should
can say is the hunter that actually shot that deer got his deer, so everything worked out well.
That's good.
Yeah, we'll definitely we'll get Jeremy back on with us, and
that's going to be a good one. So what I'm thinking is maybe we can get together after the first of the year and do a season ending. Year in review 2023 for you guys.
Talk about some of y'all's best tracks.
Talk about if you could get some of those stories like Jeremy's. Get 2 or 3 of those stories, because I know they're probably going to last 15, 20 minutes.
Sure,
telling those stories.
Oh yeah.
So if we could get
and just to unravel that one story is going to take 15 minutes.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that would be great.
Players involved.
I think that'd be great to have a year-ending thing like that come up.
Sure.
So.
Sure, that we'd be glad to do that.
Yeah, that may be something that we can do at the Breathe when they have their grand opening, because they have pushed that back to January now. I know me and you have been in contact about that because you had one guy that was going to fill in, but we hope that you can make that. I'll keep you in the loop on that. So.
Okay, that sounds great. And
Yep.
And hopefully we can get over there. We're going to start getting into the wonderful expo season.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And expos, and
It's coming up fast, isn't it?
Now, will you be at like Charleston?
You know, I did not book Charleston this year. I have a tracker in the Kanawha Valley, and with the way I do that with these outdoor shows, if these guys want to get them booked in their area, we'll help them pay for them.
Okay.
And we'll come down and make an appearance with our dogs there, and but I rely on these guys to really self-promote in that area. Of course, when I say self-promote, that's booking the show and getting it set up, because if I did that constantly, I would be so busy.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how the Civic Center takes things and does things like that, but we got a booth at the Civic Center. If you want to come by and bring your dog and talk to some people while we're there,
more than welcome.
More than welcome to come by and hang out with us, man. That would be awesome.
Hey, we'll take a look and see how the scheduling falls, and if that's something we can do, we'll do it. You'll be amazed if we have one of the dogs, how many people will stop and tell you right there that they follow the Facebook page, they read our stories.
Yeah.
And of course the dogs are the stars.
Absolutely.
I guarantee it. Yeah.
And I had a gentleman that actually bought a pup off of us and drove up here and got it. And he took his time. He wanted to meet all the dogs that he had read about and they never got to meet. So not only did he get a pup, but he got to meet, Jesse, our head tracker. He got to meet a couple of the other hunting dogs that we do stories on. And it's just neat to see. I'm glad it's kind of worked out that way, that these dogs have become stars. I'm just the storyteller. So.
Well, man, Sean, we sure appreciate you having on this evening.
Well, we appreciate you having us on and just getting to meet some of the other trackers there for a short period. Some of the guys that are really important to Longspur.
Yeah, I think this was a great episode that we got to do that. Got to talk to people from around the state and the eastern shore there of Maryland. So that's awesome. You know.
Yeah, and we've got other guys in other states and
well, yeah, you guys have 10 states all in now, don't you?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
We do, and we're getting contacted about every day this time of year about guys wanting to join up. So.
Man, that's great.
But we definitely appreciate having you guys on tonight.
Yep, we appreciate you, sir.
Okay, thank you. We'll stay in touch with you.
Yep, stay safe running the mountains of the great state of West Virginia and those 9 other states that you all track in. So
will do.
Keep them blood trails hot, brother.
Will do.
All righty. Have a good night. Thank you, sir. All right, guys, be sure to check out Longspur Tracking and Outfitting on their Facebook page and their app that we were just talking about there, Blood Trails with a Z. Blood Trails with a Z. It's on the Apple. It's on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store.
Google Play Store.
Yep. So another thing,
real quick.
Yeah, talk about that real quick before we get off.
Yeah, real quick before we get off here, we want to talk a little bit about the Hunt Chef Experience Hunt with Elite Trophy Outfitters out of Freeport, Ohio. The Hunt Chef guys took 12 veterans on a hunt up there.
Yep.
We supplied them with grunt calls and a bunch of heat factory hand warmers.
Heat factory hand warmers.
So, and I'm not quite sure how well they did up there. We'll definitely get Chef on here.
Today is the first day in camp.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It is the first day.
They just got in camp today.
That's right. I thought yesterday was their first day.
They'll be there all week. So we'll have to have Chef on next week.
He had a live going this afternoon.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So
okay. He didn't know whether he was going to be able to do it. So
yeah. So we'll definitely get him on the show again here shortly and talk about that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Sure will.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yep. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And we also want to give a shout-out to Cabela's. They also supply our shop here and the podcast with water. So thank you, guys. We sure appreciate what they do for us, and we appreciate what they do for conservation.
Absolutely.
In the outdoors. They're going to be doing a lot of things. I talked with the GM there the other day, and big things coming up for turkey season. So, guys, just stay tuned, and you'll see what happens.
What'd you do?
Turkey season's going to be a good one. So,
oh, buddy, I can't wait. I'm ready for it.
That's our next exciting season.
Like I said, I'm done working now.
Yeah.
I ain't going back till after turkey season. You
I
feel me?
hear you.
Yep, that's what's happening.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.
Bye.
This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com. Or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today.